Yo, what's up, everybody? Super stoked. I'm pumped up today. I'm fired up. I've got my cold brew going. I'm here with my boy No Sleep, also known as Travis, for another episode of Thrash Talk Podcast. Trav, who we got today?
What's up, man? We got an awesome one today. This man needs no introduction in the space that I come from. Goes by Odyssey. Josh Cohen, one of the three founders of Shredding Sassy. We're stoked to have Josh with us today. And while we have him with us, we're going to be doing some fun little Shaka giveaways. Yeah, you heard that right. We did it a couple weeks ago. That's Shaka giveaway. We're going to be putting them up in the upper. Ooh, man, we might not be putting them up in the upper right-hand corner. I might have to reassess how I set this up in the StreamYard account. I actually put them right in the middle of the screen. So it's going to pop up like this. We don't want it to do that. If you're watching right now on, on X, you can see that it's popped up right in the middle of the screen. I'm going to get this moved around. I'm stoked to have Josh here with us today. Let's bring him up, Keith, and we'll get this thing going.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm super pumped. Stoked to give away some Shaka. Josh, welcome to the stage, brother.
Hey.
Oh, you're muted. Let me see if I can unmute you. There you go.
I think I might have double clicked it. There we go. Are we in?
You're in.
We're in, brother. Welcome.
Thanks, guys. Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, dude, welcome, man. Thrash Talk is something that we started, I guess, Keith, it's probably been about 9 months. And we started it, based on Shredding Sassy, based on Keith and I getting to know each other through Shredding Sassy. Shredding Sassy has become our main sponsor of this effort, and it's been so cool. We've been able to meet so many people, connect with so many different thrashers, shredders, both professional and amateur, in communities, people just learning. It's been a great experience, man, and really we have you to thank for that. We have you to thank. So, dude,
I wouldn't go that far, dude. I wouldn't go that far. But yeah, you have had some amazing guests, and I've had the pleasure of watching all of them. Well, maybe I missed one or two, maybe one or two, but definitely the more recent ones I'm all up to date on, man. And you've been smashing it, guys.
Yeah, I would definitely say you're one of our biggest supporters. It's funny because it's most of the stuff that we do together is kind of a behind the scenes kind of thing. But
yeah,
as Sleep said, at the end of the day, we probably, I don't know, Sleep, do you think we would have started this without kind of the initial conversations in the Slack?
No, absolutely not. And definitely not you and I together. I think that you and I together might not have happened, man. I'm confident, Keith, that you'd be doing a podcast no matter what. And I'm just stoked to be along for the ride. Stoked that Josh brought me in on this, and happy to be a part of it.
Dude, I'm both of you. I'm so stoked that you managed to get together, because obviously Keith's got his public speaking and all of that stuff that he does. And then Sleep is like known as the best spaces host in Web3. And he's probably going to blush now I've said that, but he definitely is. So it's so cool that you managed to connect through Shredding Sassy, and obviously now Thrash Talk has been spawned. So yeah, it's good.
Yeah, thank you so much. Like, just mad flowers and salutes to you. Like I said, I doubt if we would have started this thing at least together if we hadn't, had the love and support in the beginning from you and the Shredding Sassy community, and I think Sleep and I, we connected through spaces of all things, and it just became like this thing that everyone was like, maybe we should do a podcast. Like, let's get this thing going, So again, just massive hats off to you, and thank you, bro. Welcome.
Oh no, thank you guys. And we are all wearing hats today. That's a good sign.
That was something we talked about beforehand. Keith and I were rocking the yellow hats. I was like, Keith, dude, I don't know if we can both be rocking yellow hats in the video. And he's like, own it, live it, let's go. So Josh is skiing in between us right now. I don't know if I can say that live. I don't know if I can say skiing in the middle, but that's where he's at. Josh, man, Shredding Sassy right now is, what are we at? We're 20 months along, maybe even further now. It's been quite a while, and building a brand nowadays when you don't have significant financial backing is extremely, extremely difficult. Talk to us a little bit about kind of the the beginnings of Shredding Sassy and how that's kind of progressed to where we're at now, 20 months in to this I guess a startup is what you would say.
Yeah, for sure. No, it definitely is. So you guys both know Jake and Ollie, two really good friends of mine and co-founders in Shredding Sassy. And, we've been friends for over 15 years. So we grew up doing a lot of things together, skateboarding, mountain biking, skiing. And, we just grew up basically, just loving adrenaline. And so like, whether or not it was an actual sport, there was always something that we were doing that was taking risks or, just messing around. And later in our lives, Jake and myself especially, Ollie not so much, but we found ourselves in the crypto rabbit hole. Got fully sort of thrown into the space even before 2017, and then kept sort of an eye on it. Sorry, I've got these flies attacking me outside. And so I really fell in love with crypto and what it stood for and this sort of decentralized financial future. And so really, like when NFTs came around, which was 2021, we were talking one day and we thought, what about because at that point in time, NFTs had mainly just been about crypto culture. There was no sort of real life application or real life niche or anything that was being sort of absorbed within the NFT realm. And we thought, well, why not? Our passions are extreme sports, action sports, and obviously the love of crypto. Like, why don't we try and combine the two and build a brand starting with the sort of community aspect of the NFTs? And that's really how it got started. So our sort of mission at Shredding Sassy is to bring shredders together and have a good time. Like we believe that the best moments in life are those where there's adrenaline involved, and that's amplified even more so when you can do it with friends and people you love. So that's kind of the whole mission statement behind Shredding Sassy, is to bring people together, like-minded people together, and have a good time.
Yeah, I love that. I think it's one of the biggest things that drew me to it was that whole social club aspect. Will you just kind of give a brief overview of that social club aspect?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So we have NFTs, non-fungible tokens, and you can think of them like digital collectibles. So almost like a Pokemon card or a baseball card, something like that. So we've got 6,200 of these NFTs, and there are Shredding Sassy characters. So they're Sasquatch, adrenaline-fueled Sasquatch with all different traits and bits and pieces. No two are the same. They're all completely unique. And owning one of these assets, these digital collectibles, gets you access to the membership club of Shredding Sassy, and that really is kind of like the deeper level of Shredding Sassy, like the VIP club, so to speak. So it's somewhere that you can connect with other people that are interested in sports and the sort of culture, but also get involved in growing the brand. And that was really the reason that we wanted to build Shredding Sassy, starting from Web3, starting from crypto, was because we all believe strongly that the brands of the future are all going to be built around community, and just leveraging the community aspect. And so NFTs were the perfect medium to do that with, and that's how we got started. Sorry guys, these flies are annoying. So apart from like the access and the chatting, once you've got one of the NFTs, we've got discounts from 15 or 20 different brands in action sports worldwide. We've got coaches in sort of the major disciplines that can give people tips and advice. We have just things like watch bikes. So we've got a Red Bull Rampage next week, 2 weeks from now, which is like one of my all-time favorites. Just seeing these guys sending their bikes off the huge ridges in Utah is insane. So we'll get together in the Discord, we'll watch that together, which is a lot of fun. And it's I'm a big believer in people wanting to belong somewhere, and we just want to build somewhere that is kind of that intersection of like crypto culture and action sports culture. And I think the demographics are quite similar because both groups of people are sort of risk takers. Both people like to push their limits. Both types of people have a love of artwork. You look at the biggest action sports brands, skate brands, snowboard brands, they're all using, if they don't have their own sort of character mascot, they are using artwork on the boards and things. And so there's just so much crossover between the two types of people that we thought it was just a match made in heaven, and that was where we went with it.
So one thing you just said there really resonated with me, the people needing a place to belong. You look at
Mhm.
teams, you look at clubs. Something that I experienced when I separated from the military was that camaraderie that you have in the military, where you're going to work with these guys every day, you're traveling overseas with these guys, that you have this, they're your brothers, man. You love them, you hate them, they're your brothers. You lose that. You lose that when you separate from the military. And I definitely found that with Shredding Sassy, that camaraderie that I was missing. And I'm sure that people feel it with sports teams, right? As well. If you were in high school and you were on the soccer team or the basketball team or the football team, maybe you played football in college. And when you left, you were losing that. You had played for 15 years sports, and you were always on a team. You always had that group of people to connect with. And then all of a sudden you work in an office building from 9 to 5, and you no longer have that. I think it's so dope that Shredding Sassy is able to bring that to others.
Yeah, and it's crazy, because in a world where we've never been more connected than we are now through technology, it feels almost like people are more distant and more lonely than ever, because they're either in playing video games or they're doing things that don't directly sort of interact with other people. And I feel like a lot of the last maybe 10-15 years, and people are now starting to realize that they do want to belong to tribes or communities or groups of like-minded people, even more so, especially with other turbulent things going on in the world and whatever. So that really is what we want to do with the social club aspect of it, is just be that safe space, that place for people to come and chat with like-minded people, make friends, and there's been some amazing stories that have come out of people meeting within Shredding Sassy and going on to do this or going on to do that, or launching a business or launching a product. So it's it's super cool, man. And that's what keeps me going every day, is just seeing people come together and enjoy what Shredding Sassy is doing, but also the other type of people and types of people that are involved in it as well. It's just great.
Yeah, I love the fact that it is a community, and there's kind of this little business aspect of it where Shredding Sassy fully supports people's ideas. Like, you want to come up with a brand or an idea, like pitch it to the community, and if you've got a good idea, it gets voted in, right? Like, can you talk a little bit more on that aspect of the social club?
Yeah, for sure. So I'm a big believer. We're all big believers in aligned incentives. I believe that if it's mutually beneficial to do something, and both parties can win by helping each other, then that's the best course to move forward. And I think there's a lot of ways that can happen. The obvious one is financial. So the NFTs in Shredding Sassy have a price, and people set their own price. And obviously, if there's more people that are interested in it, then the price goes up. So it's in people's best interest to add to the brand, to tell their friends about the brand, to contribute in whichever way that they can. But that's just one aspect of it. People want to excel in different areas of their life, not just financially. So other ways that we're working towards helping the community win at the same time, one thing that we're doing is a product incubator. So a few of us co-founders, myself and Jake mainly, have got experience in bringing products to market in e-commerce. So one thing that we're going to be launching soon, and we've talked about it in sort of back rooms with people one-on-one, but we haven't launched it as like an actual service yet within the community, and that's something that we will be doing soon. And that is just giving people a chance to bring their products to market, especially if they're using Shredding Sassy IP. So our characters, as I said before, there's 6,000 of them within the NFT collection, and people have the full IP rights to whichever NFT they own, so they can use that commercially to launch a brand, just to design some clothing or whatever. And so one of the areas that we're going to be helping and have been helping is getting products to market, essentially. So apart from the product side, we've also got, like, I think what you were talking about with the sort of semi-DAO structure. So it's not like a full DAO, but on the NFTs, we have a royalty. So every time one's traded, 5% of the sale value goes into this community pot. And we have the ability to let people to propose ideas. They then get voted by other community members. And if the vote passes, then we will use funds from that community pot to facilitate, the execution of whatever idea that is. So I think you've been part of a few of them, Keith. Obviously, Sleep, you've been part of everything. But we've done some really cool stuff with that, with charities and impact stuff. We supported a youth snowboard team in Minnesota, which was really cool. What's your favorite one, Sleep, that we've done through the sort of community proposal?
That is my favorite one.
Yeah.
The sponsoring of the Minnesota Select Snowboard Club out of Minnesota. It was an awesome experience to watch those little rippers the whole year on Instagram and seeing some of them make it to nationals. That was really cool. And I was having fun. I want to say I was at a friend's house watching the March Madness tournament, and on my phone, I was watching the national half pipe for the youth kids. I don't even know what's it called, the national tournament, Keith. The
Nationals.
It's just called
Nationals. Yeah,
And
Copper Mountain USASA Nationals.
And we were watching Lucy shred while I was watching the Final Four at a party on my phone. It was really cool to see that and experience the whole season with them. Yeah, it was absolutely great. And I'm hoping that we can do it again next year. Or this year. I know that right now, the season's about to kick off again, and hopefully we can get back involved with Minnesota Select.
Yeah, I love that aspect.
100%.
It's obviously extreme sports. It's kids. It's not an area that has a ton of options per se. And so the fact that we were able to go in there and actually support a program that might not have a ton of funding and that kind of thing, I mean, it just warms my heart. And it kind of killed me because, like, I knew that they were there at nationals and kind of got to put eyes on a couple of the kids. Didn't introduce myself, didn't say anything to them, because they're competing against kids that I coach here in Aspen. So I was kind of like on both sides of the fence that day, or those days, I should say.
Sure. No, it was it's so cool. And I know we've done other stuff. We've sponsored other events. We've donated to various foundations, A-Town Alliance to put lights at their skate park in Auburn, California. That was the location we held our Shred Fest event last year. It was great that we were able to at least, obviously lights are pretty expensive, but at least help in funding that effort for them. And it's all good in the social club for sure. But Shredding Sassy is more than the social club aspect. It is an action sports brand. What are we doing on the brand front, Josh? What's coming out from a product perspective? What can we expect out of Shredding Sassy over the next 2 years?
Yeah, that's a good question. So obviously, to sustain ourselves as what we want to be, we need to drive revenue. We need to have income so that we can keep funding things and growing as a community and a brand. So yeah, I like to think of Shredding Sassy almost as like a next generation brand. Obviously, we're inspired by our love of extreme sports and crypto at the same time. And so the route that we're taking with this, which I'm really excited about, is later this year going to be launching our range of hats and collectible pins. So hats, obviously, are used massively in action sports and extreme sports. Most people are wearing a helmet when they compete in whatever that is. As soon as they take it off, you don't want your hair just being everywhere. So everyone's putting a hat. So it's like prime real estate there. But it's also plays into a lot of the crypto side and the sort of broader like streetwear demographic, collector culture, whether you're a sneakerhead, whether you like baseball cards or trading cards, just the aspect of collecting something and I'll get onto it in a sec, but almost like the suspense and the surprise when you get to reveal something that you didn't know was, you didn't know what was going to be in there. So our hat boxes are going to come with an assortment of bits and pieces in there. We want the whole thing to be an experience. So when your hat box arrives, we don't want the dopamine to sort of finish at that point. We want you to go through a journey when you're digging into the box. One of the things in the box is going to be the hat pin. So in each box, there will be a foil pack, similar to, like a Pokemon card pack. And you'll rip that open and you'll get one of 16 different pins that are available. And they're on a rarity scale. So the rarest ones are like a 0.1, 0.2% chance, all the way up to sort of like a 10% chance. And the interesting thing here is that the rarity of the pins is going to mirror our NFT collection. So within our NFT collection, there's 16 different furs of the Sasquatch, and they have these varying rarities. So we've mirrored that across with the pins. So we're going to be launching with 4 base models of hat. These are going to be sort of our evergreen hats, and that we're going to keep adding to. And sorry, these flies are really, really getting to me. I'm getting attacked by about 20 of them. So there's going to be 4 base base models of hats when they launch, and these are going to be available all the time. They're going to come in this really nice box. You're going to get a hanger, you're going to get a welcome pack, you're going to get a sort of brand intro and bringing you into what Shredding Sassy stands for and some of the things that we've done so far. And then you get the pin aspect of it as well. And Keith, I know you're a big pin guy. Is it a pinhead? Pinhead seems rude.
That I'll go with it. That's actually that's great. I love that.
Okay. Yeah, I think it works, doesn't it? Because they're going to be hat pins essentially. So yeah, okay, pinhead. Yeah. So yeah, we'll be launching with these collectible pins, one of the 16 different furs, and they will come in the box. But we're also going to have a variety of other pins available on the website at the same time. I know, Keith, you have traded a lot of pins, so there's different ways of trading them. Obviously, they're going to be physically in your hand. So when you meet with other people or go to conventions or whatever, like you can trade it that way. But we're also exploring the idea of tokenizing the pins at the point of sale. So if you wanted to, you might be able to rip that pin pack digitally and see what you're going to get before you even receive it in your hands. And then at that point, say you've pulled a rare pin, you will have the option, hopefully, to tokenize that pin, get an NFT, which is essentially a redeemable token. So you'll get this digital token that you can trade with people in different NFT marketplaces, and at any point in time you could then redeem the physical pin. So it just opens up the trading aspect of pins, because it is quite limited if you're just trading physically. You obviously need to know people that are into collecting pins and things. So this way sort of bridges that physical and digital experience, which is what we're really into at Shredding Sassy. So yeah, we're really excited about launching the hats. The other way that we're going with it is like the limited edition run. So we're big believers in collaboration, and it's sort of the ethos of the crypto space, of the Web3 space, but also action sports. So again, it just works perfectly. So we want to work with athletes, we want to work with artists, we want to work with other brands, both in the space and outside of the space, to launch these really high-end, like bespoke experiences in the shape of hats, in the form of hats. But really they are more of an experience, because you'll be able to design the box. I know a lot of people that collect like Nike Dunks or Jordans or whatever, they keep the boxes, because when you get the special ones, like the boxes are all branded up as well. So that's the route we're taking, with the hat boxes at the same time. And we're looking forward to launching a lot of hats with other brands, with other athletes and artists. Because, and again, it sort of plays into the same aspect of the aligned incentives. We provide a great product and a great service for their community. And by leveraging our product, we grow our exposure at Shredding Sassy, because they get introduced to the Shredding Sassy brand at the same time. So I think it's a really good organic growth strategy, and it just works in the sort of demographic and niche that we're in.
Absolutely. Hey, I love the pin idea and the ripping the packs and not knowing what pin you're going to get with the different rarities of each pin. I really like that. When I was a kid, I was before the Pokemon time. I think Pokemon was a little bit later in my youth, to where it wasn't cool. My little brother liked it. I really wasn't into it. So I missed that. I collected baseball cards, basketball cards, football cards, all of that. So I saw the rarity there, but again, it wasn't really on my mind that much as a youth. We'd go to the card stores and I'd see the Mario Lemieux hockey rookie card right there, and it'd be under like 3 feet of glass. It'd be, worth a ton of money. But I missed that. However, having kids now growing up, they are all aware of different rarities. They understand the different packs in almost everything. So, I mean, even going through McDonald's, and I know McDonald's, don't take your kid to McDonald's all the time. It's not healthy. But if you take your kid to McDonald's, they have different rarities in their toys, and they celebrate it. They promote it. I just love it. I think it's an excellent marketing ploy and technique. I guess not ploy, technique. And I'm excited to trade some pins. That's for sure.
Dude, I love pins. We all know it. Like, there's no secret behind it. But I was just thinking, Sleep, when you were saying like kind of missed the Pokemon craze or whatever. I'm older than both of you guys, so I definitely missed the Pokemon thing. I just didn't understand it. But I remember Pogs. Did you guys ever play with Pogs? You had the slammer, and like you go at lunch and like play for flipping other people's Pogs and trying to collect extra ones. Like, that was huge for a couple of years here. And like, this kind of thing takes me all the way back to like, say, 5th and 6th grade, where I was like in the middle just trying to get all the 8 balls and skulls and all that kind of stuff.
The
Same
balls.
deal, man. Like, I think
Keith, did you know that POG have relaunched in Web3. They are an NFT. Yeah, they're an NFT project now. Like they've come back. I don't think they've actually minted their collection yet, but they've definitely they're growing their audience and they're building their community at the moment. Yeah, POG's in crypto now.
So I remember, like, if you had the shitty plastic slammer that never did anything, you're like, oh, you suck. You know, you don't got a good slammer. Yeah. But the rare pogs for my friends and I, the group of us that traded, I have no idea which pogs were rare and which weren't, but the rare ones for our group were I think it was called Bad Boy. It was like this green guy with like a flat top cartoon, and he's always flexing everywhere. Those were the rare ones in our group, and we always tried to land those. You know, it was super fun.
I always loved like the saw blades.
Oh,
those always I don't know why. I thought it was hilarious to like take one of my really heavy slammers, and like there's technique to flipping them, right? And you'd slam someone's like saw blade and you kind of bend one or two of the little, you know, jagged edges, and it'd be so upset with me, but I'm like, it's mine now anyway. Why do you care?
Too funny. I remember those getting all jacked up, the saw blades, after significant use.
So we've digressed a little bit.
No, it's good. Keith, I didn't know you were older than Sleep, to be honest. That's news to me.
Oh yeah. I think I'm one of the older fellas in shredding Sassy. I just turned 40, bro.
Well, you look good, man. You look good, dude.
Thank you.
Got a full head of hair. Super jealous. Thanks, Josh. I mean, that's probably why. It's probably why, because I'm bald, right?
Yeah.
I knew it.
Well, not at all. No, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know. When I've got a picture of you both like in my head, I don't know. I just didn't think Keith was older, but makes sense. It's not by much.
Probably because I'm way more immature.
Yeah, maybe. Might be that. Yeah, I realized as I was saying it, I'm definitely going to be insulting someone here. I don't want this to come across like, and I've ended up managing to insult both of you. So sorry about that.
Hey, no worries. Hey, I want to pause for a second, and we've been going through this space. We're about 30 minutes through, and I said space. This podcast, this show, this live stream, and I've been putting these QR codes up in the upper, maybe right, maybe left. I don't know. Nope, wrong way. That way. Which way? Over above Keith's head. Those are claimable QRs for Shaka. Shaka is a cryptocurrency. Nice. I like that point, Keith. Cryptocurrency, they all have some value associated with them. Go ahead and scan that QR code. It'll take you to a claimable link and claim your Shaka. Josh, I know that Trading Sassy is also behind Shaka. You've kindly donated some Shaka to us to give away on this show. Can you talk a little bit about Shaka and its integration in the Sassy ecosystem and kind of what you're looking to do with it in the future?
Yeah, absolutely. So Shaka is a meme coin in brackets. It's we like to think of it more of as a share coin or a culture coin, but I guess it comes under the bracket of meme coin, and that being because it doesn't have any direct utility attached to it. You know, it's about the culture, and Shaka is the universal symbol of peace, love. Sharing the stoke, you know, originated from Hawaii. It's big in surf culture, skate and snowboarding. So it made sense for us, and it's something that we've had in our brand identity since we launched Shredding Sassy. You know, a lot of the Sasquatch that you will see if you go to any of our branded pages, you'll see them throwing a Shaka. And so we launched it as a coin because, so the issue, or not the issue, but the limitation of our NFT collection is that there's only 6,000 of them, right? So once we get to having 6,000 owners, if that ever does happen, you know, a lot of people like to collect multiple, so it's quite hard to spread it out amongst 6,000 people. But the limitation there is that it's firstly got a high barrier to entry because, you know, what's a Sassy right now, $120 or something. So it's not available for everybody to get into. And also when it's capped out, it's capped out. So with a coin, with a meme coin, you know, it's infinitely divisible. Essentially, you can get in with as little or as much money as you want, and it's just a great first step into the Shredding Sassy ecosystem. I believe like the future of brand building is about universe building. You know, it's not so much this archaic funnel system anymore where you sort of go down the funnel. It's more of a world building exercise with multiple touch points that are digital, physical, and all the rest of it. So, you know, it's just another sort of aspect of the Shredding Sassy universe. And we recently ran a skate jam here in Portugal, and we used Shaka as the prizes, which was an interesting experiment, and it actually went way better than I thought it did. So we ran like a traditional sort of skate jam. We had 4 features with first, second, and third place prizes for each of the features, and instead of giving, you know, like a gift certificate or a check or something like that, we printed out Shaka QR code certificates. So I think you got, you know, $100 for first place. You scan the QR code just like you've popped up there in the corner, and it will prompt you to download a wallet or connect your wallet if you've got one already. But you know, most people won't have a crypto wallet, so it will prompt you to download one from the App Store. Really simple. Uses Face ID. You don't need to worry about seed phrases or, you know, writing down passwords or anything like that. You can literally just get it up and running in 30 seconds. Claim your Shaka, and then you can trade it. You know, you can either keep it, you can become part of the community, or you can sell it for fiat. So it was a really good exercise in onboarding people to crypto for the first time, and just seeing people's reactions, you know. So that we ran this in Portugal, so it's all the local Portuguese skate kids from, I don't know, anywhere from sort of 14 years old up to mid-20s mainly. And I was surprised to see how many people already had crypto wallets on their phone. But you know, for those that didn't, the process of downloading the new Coinbase smart wallet and getting up and running literally took 30 seconds. So it was great. And this is a model that we're looking to scale through our local community ambassadors worldwide. So within Trading Sassy, you know, we've got people all over the world. I think we're in every continent. Well, obviously not Antarctica, but apart from that, I think we're in every continent. So you know, we've got some really passionate community members around the world, and the sort of format that we ran here in Portugal, we are boxing it up essentially and giving it out to our community ambassadors. So we will pay for, you know, the signage and the sort of marketing materials and the prizes in Shaka, and then we want people on the ground in their different areas to sort of bring the local community together, throw a jam. It doesn't have to be skateboarding, you know, it works on snow as well. You throw a snow jam, surf jam, go to a local wave pool, go to the beach. You know, it doesn't matter. But I think this model is, again, it leans into our core sort of North Star, which is bringing people together and having a good time. Introduces people to crypto for the first time, introduces people to the brand. So yeah, it just works really well.
So Josh, you said something that I don't know if or how many people actually picked up on it. You said in Portugal. A handful of people know I just got back from Portugal, went out there on holiday with my family and everything. And it's actually where you're located. Got to link up with you and the fam a few times, which was awesome. Got to get the kids together. Your boy is amazing. And it's so funny how much he mirrors my boy. So you're obviously you have a UK accent, but so you're not Portuguese, but you live in Portugal.
Yeah, I do. We moved out here 2020. So when my eldest son was born, Lumi, he was born in the January, and we moved out. I think it must have been 3 months or 4 months after he was born in 2020. And so yeah, it was a crazy move. And it happened just before COVID, right? So we got out here and we were like, yeah, we're going to explore it. We've been on holiday here a couple of times, but we'd never obviously lived here. We didn't have any friends here. Moved out here, started exploring, and then COVID happened. So we were locked in for like the year. But actually it was, you know, a blessing in disguise, because we really got to know the local area and like all the landscape here and just everything. You know, not many of the shops and things were open, but like the country itself is just beautiful and the climate is perfect. And so yeah, we just haven't looked back since, man. We've been out here now, 4 coming on 5 years, and yeah, it's perfect. It's only a 2-hour flight back to the UK. We're in a fortunate position where, you know, we make our money on the internet, so you know, we're not tied to any physical location, and I think it, you know, gives us a much better opportunity to raise the kids how we want to raise them. So yeah, I love it. And I know you like it as well, Keith, right? After coming to visit.
Oh man, I love Portugal. Like if I could ever relocate to another country, that would be high on my list. Yeah, like you said, it is absolutely beautiful. The surf is awesome. You know, there's so much outdoor activity. It's crazy because, you know, I would say like the EU in general, just people just spend their time outside more than I would say most Americans. Not all, obviously, but I would say a lot of people in America, they get kind of locked up in their house or in their office. And seems like the Portuguese specifically and EU as well just really embody that, like, hey, nature's all around us. We should take full advantage of it and enjoy it, and that's kind of what I one of the things I love so much about going to Portugal is no matter where you are, you're only a few steps from some nature and you can really get out there and enjoy it.
Yeah, that's so true. And the Portuguese definitely take that mission on board. Their lunch breaks are like nothing I've ever seen before. I think the lunch breaks last for about 2.5 hours here. It's amazing.
Portuguese time is a real thing. It is
Yeah.
a real thing. You say 9 a.m., plan on 10:30.
Yeah. Do you know, like the local shopping mall here doesn't even open until 10:30 in the morning. Like they just don't do early mornings. It stays open till 10:30 at night. So they'll go
Right.
later, but yeah, they don't like the early mornings, and lunch breaks are, a no work zone for a good few hours.
That was something that actually blew my mind. Like there's shopping malls still. Like here in the States, like where I live, like shopping malls are like kind of dead space, and I've had this wild idea a few times of like taking an old shopping mall that's now shut down because everyone just does online commerce and stuff like that, turn that into like this massive bike park slash,
Dude, that would be
skate
sick.
park, and just right, keep the escalators, keep everything, keep it looking as it would, but just make it skatable and rideable. I think that would be great use of all this dead space that we have.
Yeah, there's some movies with that. I'm trying to remember, but there's definitely movies where you've seen people like come flying through on boards or bikes or something, and it's just like that looks like the ultimate playground. I want to do that.
Right.
You remember when we had the show with Noah Elliott and the skate park was in his local mall and they used to do sleepovers
right.
at the skate park. I mean, it's doable. It is doable. Just think of that times hopefully 10. Keith, make it happen. I'll be there. I'll promote whatever you need me to do. I'm ready to skate your local mall.
I might need some financial backing for that one.
Yeah.
Sleep.
Love it. Me too. Me too. Let's get Sassy. Let's get Sassy blown up here. Get these products in everybody's hands and maybe a Sassy sponsored mall. That sounds good to me.
Hell yeah. Sassy land.
So Josh,
that's
looking
great.
at your youth, you talked a little bit about growing up with Jake and Ollie, how you guys were buddies and jumping into action sports. Obviously, we know Ollie now as a professional snowboarder. That's how I kind of moved in with you guys and met Keith. But you, specifically you, what is your action sport of choice, man? Where did you kind of really find the love for getting out there and having a good time?
Yeah. So I think it started when I was a kid, just on the skateboard. It was in the 90s. Everyone was skating, it seemed like, and that was, what I grew up with. So baggy jeans and chains and going out skating, taking your skateboard to the local town and causing mayhem, getting chased away by security guards. That was, what we did at the weekends. So it started there. And then I guess growing up, did bits and pieces. I got into mountain biking for a little bit. I went skiing a couple of times, but really it was after I was an adult, early 20s. I took the leap and I went and did a ski season in France. And yeah, I was meant to just be there for like 6 months for a winter season skiing, and ended up staying there for like 2 years. So in the winter time, I was, skiing every day. It was great. Again, at the time I was still working from the laptop. So I wasn't just on holiday. I was working, although it was mostly recreational. When you live in a ski town, that's just sort of what ends up happening. And then, inter season was like springtime. So the lifts would shut from the winter in the spring for them to sort of do their repairs and things. So the sort of inter-season was when like people would go home and it got a bit quieter. And then when the summer came, and this was something I never knew, like growing up, like how busy mountain towns are in the summer. Because you just think, well, I thought that it was just ski, snowboard, what's happening in the summer, but it opens up so much more in the summer for hiking and the biking. So I got really into my downhill mountain biking when I lived in Chamonix in France. This would have been 2014 through to 2016. So yeah, only 10 years ago, and that was when I really got into my downhill mountain biking. And you'd get the chairlift up, you'd be wearing your body armor, full face helmet, and they build the trails are just so sick, and you've got so much elevation to work with that you've got like nothing you could ever dream of going to your local, where I live in the UK, like going to your local woods or anything like that. Whereas here you're you know, doing 2,000 meters of elevation up in the cable, and then you've got, you know, probably 15-mile trail to get back down again to do it again. So that was like where it started, really on the mountain biking side. So we lived there. I lived there for just over 2 years. Came back to the UK. There was nothing going on. So that was actually where I met Sophie as well. So then we moved back to the UK, and then we decided to try Austria. So we moved out to Innsbruck again for a winter season, which just extended and extended. I think we were there for about 18 months in the end. And then since then had kids, and now it's gone full circle. I'm teaching the boys to skate. So it's it's full life cycle.
I love that, man. Chamonix, I've been there once, and it was an absolute blast. We flew from Italy. I was living in Italy at the time. We flew up to Geneva and then bussed over to South France to go to Chamonix. And what was crazy for me is I hadn't been to any European, snow towns, mountain towns. So I wasn't prepared for, the older architecture, the buildings, but with the North Face store and all the culture that we're used to being in action sports, going to the newer mountain towns, compared to Europe, with Tahoe and Colorado and Killington on the East Coast. It's just nothing can compare to a mountain town in Europe. And we had an absolute blast. So stoked that you got to experience that for a season or so.
Yeah, Chamonix was just stunning, man, because you got Mont Blanc and the Mont Blanc Massif in the background. So like everywhere you look is just like a postcard in the scenery. But yeah, it's crazy because it's like a really old town, but like you say, it's got like the modern touches, and it's got, the North Face store and all these other stores there now. But I think it's grown a lot since I left as well. That was going on 10 years now. And I know you've probably been there more recently than me, Keith, right, on the circuits. I know Ollie said last time he went through it's like it's been built up massively now.
I was just thinking about it. I actually have never been to Chamonix. It's one of the places that I haven't been that's like definitely on my bucket list to just go ride. Like I've seen so many awesome big mountain videos and stuff. I mean, Xavier Delarue and all of those guys, like they come out of that area, and there's a reason why Victor and Zav were like two of the best border cross racers for so long, is because big mountain translates so well to border cross, and they come right out of that area. And I mean, you watch any of Victor's stuff online, like he does a lot of stuff with Red Bull on just kind of mountaineering and stuff. It's all because he grew up there, and he's so good. It's like you watch any of the big mountain series, it's like put your money on Victor every time, or if Zav is in there, put your money on him, because those two are going to throw down harder than just about anybody, because that's what they grew up doing. But I definitely want to go. It's on my bucket list. I've ridden France, but not Chamonix.
Yeah, I remember the Chamonix was a stop on the Freeride World Tour for a number of years. I think they've stopped it more recently, the last few years. But yeah, and we used to just be able to, get up and then sort of hike through some packed snow and watch these events, man. And it was just insane watching like them, really, because with the Freeride World Tour, there's no practice runs, is there? Right. So it's just like they get to sort of scope what line that they might think is possible, and then fingers crossed the conditions all come together, and then finally like it's go time. I think you get 2 runs each. But yeah, that's some of the craziest stuff I've ever seen, just hiking up the mountain and watching these guys send it off the huge knuckles and like cliffs. They're not knuckles, they're cliffs.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely on my bucket list as well, as actually going and just watching. Like, I mean, I'd love to compete in one. Like, I love big mountain backcountry stuff, dropping cliffs, cornices, all that, wide open pow turns, couloirs, you name it. Like, that's speaking to my heart. And, kind of taking it back to the Red Bull Rampage, I'm only maybe like 5 hours from Virgin, Utah, where it's held, and so that's another thing that's on my bucket list, is actually going out there and camping out and just watching the pros throw down, because nothing is never looks as big on TV as what it is in real life. And so if it looks like it's a massive drop on TV, it's monstrous in real life. And so like just getting to experience that, dude, I'm a little jealous of you, if I'm being honest.
Dude, I would love nothing more than going out to Rampage, because like the build crews go out there like a week before, and they all camp out, don't they? And they're building the line for each of the riders, and yeah, it's just community and action sports. Like, it's just my favorite thing, man. Favorite thing. So yeah, I'm jealous you're only 5 hours away from Utah to get out there. You need to do it.
I know. I'm slacking.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, boys, I'm getting a lot of hate in the comments section right now about smiling big during this show. I'm just so excited to be here, but we're getting some hate. We got Jurassic coming in. Sleep may be the happiest person I've ever seen on camera. We got some LOLs afterwards from Inverted. Quirky Quirk, nice teeth for a hockey player. Makes me wonder if he really plays or not. So I'm getting some hate on if I'm an actual hockey player or not.
Abused today.
I love it. I love it. I'm happy to be here. It's been a great show so far. Josh, we want to move into this thing that we've never done before. We're going to call it a little rapid round. I don't know how rapid we're going to be, Keith. I guess that's going to be up to us on how it flows through. Keith, what do you think on how rapid we need to be in this rapid round of questions for Josh?
I think it comes down to like how fast we can read, because we come up with some questions ahead of time, just some like rapid round, rapid fire style where, just kind of some fun questions just to let people kind of get to know you a little bit better. Nothing too crazy, of course, but yeah, I mean, you can make your answers as long or as short as you want. It's completely up to you.
So Keith, are you and I going to engage on his response, or are we going to save that to the end? Are we going to like kind of listen to all of his responses and then pick which ones to engage on later?
I think that's fair. I think maybe we wait just for the simple fact that we already know the questions.
Perfect.
You know what I mean? So we probably already got certain answers queued up in our head a little bit, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, for us, for sure. I mean, I guess where I was going was, are we going to engage Josh on his answers initially, or wait to the end after he goes through all of his answers, then pick which ones to engage on?
I didn't think that.
You guys are making me nervous.
Let's go. Okay, I'm in. I'm
a quarter mile at a time.
Let's do it. Here we go. I'll start off here. Josh, rapid round. Okay. Thrash Talk podcast. What's your favorite food and why?
Scampi. Kid memory. Yeah, just childhood memories. I always wanted scampi and chips for my birthday. So it's just lived on from there.
I love it.
That's perfect. All right. Hey, question 2. Go ahead, Keith.
Worst drivers. What do they drive, and what country are they from?
Portugal. And
I knew you were going to say that.
Everything. They're honestly the worst drivers I've ever encountered in my life. Nobody knows what an indicator is, or a blinker, as you guys call it. Like, honestly, you're just guessing. And I've got a little Vespa scooter, moped thing here, and it is deadly, man. Like, I am so cautious when I'm riding that thing because people will just pull out. And Portugal, 100%. And I've lived in quite a few countries.
I love it. All right, here we go. Worst injury.
Skiing. I went on a ski trip when I was 12 with the school, and I don't even know how this happened, but I managed to get the tail end of my right hand ski, my right foot ski, went into the leg of my left leg. Carried on skiing for the rest of the day, or a few hours, and got to the bottom, and my boot was full of blood, like half full of blood, and I had a hole in my leg. And I think I passed out, and then I got ski-mobiled down to the first aid, went to hospital and stitched up, and it ruined my trip. That was in Quebec. And it was on like day 3 of a week-long trip. So it ruined the rest of my trip.
Oh, dude, that's gnarly. Whoa. That sounds terrible. Okay. Gnarly. I wasn't expecting that.
I didn't even feel it though. Like, it didn't hurt. It was just, it was just there. And then I think I just passed out with shock.
Yeah. Once your adrenaline's pumping, it's go time. That's for sure.
Right. Favorite pastime or biggest passion?
It's got to be mountain biking. Like, I love skiing. What I love about mountain biking, so the one thing I don't like about skiing is the boots. Like, if you're doing a hard day, especially if you're in the backcountry, if you're doing any sort of touring or even just hiking, from lifts, like, I hate getting my feet cold and sore. So that's why biking takes the upper hand there. And I love nothing more than going out with my boys, like, on the bike. So if it can be a casual ride, or it can be, 35-degree, let's charge sort of thing. But I just love getting on the bike.
Love it.
I love mountain biking.
Yeah, I want to ask you more questions on this, but we'll keep going and maybe hit them at the end. Hardest thing you've ever done?
Kids. It's got to be kids. Like the hardest and the most rewarding at the same time. Like it just completely throws your world upside down. You know, like I've been quite independent my whole life. I haven't worked for anyone else since I was like 18, and so I've only had to worry about myself. And then when kids come along, like just changes everything. So I think the learning curve of becoming a first time parent is definitely the hardest thing I've done.
Oh, dude, spot on. Okay, favorite conspiracy.
We could do a whole podcast just on this, and I
I
don't really know
know.
how far to take this because I am representing Shredding Sassy right now. Oh God, Hollow Moon. We do Hollow Moon.
Hollow Moon really let me down that Sasquatch wasn't. Is Sasquatch a conspiracy? I guess that wouldn't be a conspiracy. That'd be a cryptid.
No, that's not a conspiracy. That's mythical, isn't it?
No, it's true. I mean, it's true though.
Oh, yeah.
It's not mythical. Yeah. Maybe it is. I don't know. All right. Next one. If you could free ride anywhere in the world with anyone, where would it be and with who?
Yeah, it would have to be like Utah. It would have to be, and there's no way I'm hitting the mega stuff. But you know, like going out there with the legends, Cam Zink, and like just riding like that terrain. Because I've never experienced it, and like the traction that you're going to get on that rock type with your tires is crazy. So you can like on the sort of the camber of the rock, you can ride like you wouldn't. It wouldn't seem normal with physics, but you can do it. So I'd love to go out there and experience that sort of type of terrain.
Bro, I only live 3 hours from Moab, and the whole enchilada is so cool. It is that rock the whole way down. It's freaking rad.
You wouldn't believe how many like POV videos I've watched of the whole enchilada. Like so many. I'd love to.
I've done it a couple times. It's awesome.
Well, we need to do it.
I like that answer. Actually, I really do like that answer. And finally, favorite holiday.
Ooh, favorite holiday. It's got to be last year. Like, it wasn't an exotic location. It wasn't like anything special about the place. But my mum's side of the family, we all went out to a little island called Ile de Ré, which is off the French west coast. It's where a lot of the Parisians sort of go on holiday because it's not too far from Paris. It's a great little fishing island, but it was just spending the time with the fam. We rented bikes for the week, so we were just like riding around everything's bike related, isn't it? We were riding around the island, like going to oyster bars and you know, not expensive fancy ones, but just you'd see the farmers bringing them in off the beach. And yeah, that was a great holiday last year. And because of COVID and lockdown and us moving abroad, you know, we hadn't seen the family well for a long time. So that's the most memorable one.
So what's pretty funny here, and we're getting some comments in the comment section on it. In America, when we say holiday, I don't know, Keith, I don't know where you were going with this, but when I represent a holiday, I'm talking Christmas, St. Patty's Day, Easter,
we're not talking vacation.
Or right. in Europe and in England specifically, you know, a holiday means, hey, where are you going on holiday? Oh, I'm going to Cyprus this year. I'm going to Paris, wherever. So Keith, what were you looking for in that answer there? What were you thinking?
Honestly, open for interpretation. I figured with the general demographic of folks that we have on here, we're always going to get something different, whether we are talking, you know, celebration or if we're talking, you know, vacation. So either or, it's genuinely just, that's how it's great to see how people's brains work, you know.
I love that, man. I love that. And one other thing that came in now, so end of rapid fire questions. Going back, we have one right here saying from Jurassic Kings, never heard of Hollow Moon, and we need a thorough explanation with references. Josh, you can send those references to thrashtalkpod@gmail.com after this, and we'll distribute to our viewers for sure.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's been a while, but there's some good documentaries on Hollow Moon stuff. So yeah, we can do that. I think one of the big bits was like the the ding that it makes when a rocket or a probe sort of lands on it. Like they can actually pick up the frequency and of the vibrations when things like hit the moon. So it's like it must be hollow. But yeah, this could go on a real tangent here. But yeah, I'll share a link with Jurassic.
I love that conspiracy, if we'll put it in quotes. I go down a lot of rabbit holes sometimes, and I go pretty deep sometimes. So I'm actually glad you picked Hollow Moon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was either that or reptilians I was going with.
Ooh, reptilians. Ooh. There's another long day of talking.
Yeah.
Another thing I connected with you on, so scampi being your favorite food, and you kind of went back to your childhood with it. I remember as a kid, my mom used to always make linguine and clam sauce, linguine and clams, and I loved it. It was my favorite thing. I wanted it every day, all day. I think every like Tuesday was linguine and clams, until I was old enough to realize what clams were. And then I was like, oh, this is terrible. Like for some reason, I don't know why I was turned off by clams when I figured out what they were. But it took a while for me to get back to linguine and clams. Now it's one of my go-tos when we go to Italian restaurants for sure.
That's funny actually, because I think I commented on someone's tweet the other day. They were in Italy and they were like, what's your favorite thing to eat? And I think I literally said clam linguine. So
love it.
Cool.
Love it. Keith, what about you when you were a kid? Anything kind of stick out food wise when you were a kid that really you lean towards?
I mean, I grew up super poor, so just any food I could eat.
Sure.
To be honest, not to take it down that route, but no, I love pizza. And I'm going back to last week's talk. I mean, pizza is still my all-time favorite. Like I could never get enough of it. We had a pizza parlor. It was a chain. It's called Papa's Pizza in Oregon, and it's where we always had like, birthdays, any birthdays in the winter, anything like that. They had a big playground. You go up, you order however many pizzas. They come out, they're massive, feed a whole family kind of deal, or multiple families. Unlimited root beer. That's like some of my most like nostalgic moments with food, to be honest, as a kid.
Love it. Hey, Josh, we talked last week. Keith and I both are good with pineapple on pizza. I think that's what we decided. We're both okay with it. Josh, what's your take on pineapple on pizza?
100% love it. I love it. I love a good Hawaiian pizza. You gotta throw the shaker when you're eating it.
I was saying last week, pepperoni and pineapple is the way to go. Like it's nice. It's nice.
Yeah, it's a bit saltier. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. We were talking about pizza last week. Like we were saying, if you could eat any food for the rest of your life, what would it be? Or if you had only one food you could eat, whatever. And Sleep and I both were kind of on that pizza train. And it reminded me, I was thinking about it this week, and it reminded me of, dude, I did a pizza eating contest years ago. And it was a 10-pound pizza between two people. You had to eat it within a half hour. And it was massive. It was like Chicago style. So it wasn't like big around, but it was super, super thick. And I had a buddy who, he's probably like 240, 250 pounds. He kind of threw it to me one day. He's like, hey, do you want to do this? And I was like, sure. I already had breakfast, but let's go. He tapped out. At about 3.5 pounds. And I ended up having to eat 6.5 pounds of pizza. And I did it in 17 minutes, 45 seconds. And I held it down all day. That was the other thing, is you had to hold it down for at least a half hour. And it was like competition. There's all kinds of people. And I was talking so much crap. Like I couldn't believe how like small the pizza was round wise. And so I was like, that's it. That's all I got to eat. And the girl's like, you want to talk any more smack before I put it in the oven? I was like, yeah, I'm going to make that pizza my B, like, let's go.
That's crazy.
My buddy puked.
6 pounds. That's like 3 kilos, 3 kilograms, right?
Mm. That sounds close. Like so much, man. I'm thinking about a burger.
That's a lot.
with a bunch of patties, like 6 pounds of patties on a burger. Thinking about like going to the store and if you get your ground beef from a store, right? 6 things of ground beef, man. That is so much pizza, dude. I can't believe you did it and not throw up. That's insane.
Well, the key was not to not drink anything. They trick you and they give you as much soda and stuff as you want. And I was like, water or nothing. And my buddy, he was like drinking soda. He's a big boy. I thought for sure he'd be able to put down more. And he was drinking soda and stuff. And sure enough, like the liquid fills you up.
Would you do a pizza eating contest now, Keith?
Yeah. Absolutely.
do
I have
it.
a bottomless pit when I'm
Like
ready
right
to
this
eat.
minute.
No, not right this minute. I mean, maybe if you want. I don't know how quickly we can get pizza delivered right now, but I would love to do a pizza eating contest. It would be my favorite. We got to do it. Thrash Talk sponsored
Okay.
pizza eating contest. Where are we doing it at, Keith? Aspen?
Bro, I
We're
don't
doing
know.
it.
Yeah.
Let's figure out
Yeah.
some place to do it.
Maybe we can all link up in Portugal next June or something like that.
Sounds like
There's
a
some
plan to
good
me.
pizza in Portugal.
Sounds like
There
a
is.
plan to me. I already got the wife prepped. I got the wife prepped. She's stoked.
Oh, have
Let's
you?
go.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Looking forward to
go.
that. Everyone's coming to Portugal.
Heck yeah, man. Well, hey, we're coming up on our hour mark. We've been pretty good at keeping it to an hour, Josh, but I know that we want to close out with some more thoughts on Shredding Sassy. And you talked a little bit about the vision. I want to talk a little bit more about how we get there. What is the steps along the way? How do you feel that the community can continue to push the brand forward while you guys are working diligently to bring product to market, I guess?
Yeah, it's good. It's a good question. I think it's just a process of just enjoying it, you know. So like if you are enjoying being part of the community, then whatever. I feel bad like saying you need to, you know, everyone needs to show up and everyone needs to raid these posts and share this and onboard your mum and you know all the rest of it. I think people have different amounts of capacity that they can put to something. The most important thing is that they resonate with, you know, the brand values, like what we're building and, you know, what we want to become. But, you know, people can do things in their own way. We've got people launching products and brands, you know, using Shredding Sassy IP. We've got people that host spaces and talk on, you know, on socials or you know, podcasts. Whatever it means to you, I just want to make sure that everyone's, you know, having a good time. And if you're not having a good time, then don't feel that you need to stick around. But I think, you know, just the process of showing up every day, learning from each other, bouncing ideas off each other, and you know what feels right is what we'll lean into, because no one's got a crystal ball. No one knows exactly like this is the path to success. I think the best thing we can do is just try things and lean into the things that we enjoy and that work.
Well, I think it speaks a lot to the just the overall concept, just how many things have been tried and in such a short amount of time, right? And some things are going to be great, some things aren't going to work as well. And like, you know, I always, or I don't know about always, but lately I've been calling you the fearless founder because of not only when you guys launched this whole project, but like you're just so like, okay, that worked or that didn't, but we're moving forward and you're constantly navigating and figuring it out. And just, dude, I love being a part of it with you and watching the growth with the brand and you personally, man.
Oh, I appreciate that, dude. Yeah, you know, it's one of my traits that has served me well and oftentimes not served me well as well. But I'm not afraid to try new things. I'm not afraid to put myself out there or put, you know, Shredding Sassy out there and try this. And I just think, you know, as long as you can take something away from it, whether it works or whether you learn from something that didn't work, like you just putting one foot in front of the other and moving forward. And that's the fastest way to success, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. Being agile is critical in business today. So happy to see Shredding Sassy doing that. Josh, where can people follow along with Shredding Sassy, with you, with the moves of the brand? Where can they get more?
Yeah, so at Shredding Sassy on all socials, and then I am mainly active on Twitter, X, and my handle is Odyssey SSSC, which stands for Shredding Sassy Social Club. So Odyssey SSSC on X is where I'm most active. Although I have started a TikTok, so I'm meant to be going through this short form video boot camp. I really want to start doing short form video, you know, spreading the message of Shredding Sassy, talking about brand building, talking about what we're up to. So I think I'm going to be more active on Instagram and TikTok pretty soon as well.
Love it, dude. Thank you very much. And I am showing that here at the bottom. It's scrolling across the bottom, all the Shredding Sassy links. So go on, follow Shredding Sassy, follow Thrash Talk. Josh, thank you very much for coming today, man. It's been a fun one. And dude, have a great rest of your week, man.
Thanks for having me, guys. Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah, thanks for being on, brother. Super stoked. Everyone else?
From everyone.
Absolutely. There
Double
it is.
shaka.
It's so backwards. My camera's backwards these days. Yeah, please, everyone, give us a like, give us a, if you're on Twitter, retweet, give us whatever you want to give us. We're not asking for much. This is a passion project, Thrash Talk Podcast. It's your boys, Sleep, Grizz, Sleep, close us out.
Yeah, man. All right. Hey, it was a great Thrash Talk episode today. We got a great week planned for you. We'll be dropping content on YouTube, on Instagram, on X. We'll be dropping content everywhere possible. We got a ton of shorts coming out like those. Follow everywhere. Send them out to everybody you know. I don't know if we have an episode scheduled for next week. I know we're working on a couple guests. If we can get it going, we'll get it going to deliver it to you. But again, thank you very much. Hopefully you got some of those Shaka claims we had up in the upper corner there. Which corner? I think that corner. It's been absolutely fun. So thank you very much, Keith. And hey, dude, we'll see you next week.
Yeah, I love it. Bye, everybody.